Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Everything is Fine podcast. I'm your host, Matt Ebersol.
I am your host, Sean Wilson.
And today is a very special episode because it's not an episode of the show. It's its own thing. We told you guys on Instagram throughout the week, we were doing a question and answer Q&A. It's a kind of special thing, and that's what we're doing today. So we're going to be going through all the questions that we got sent through on Instagram, through our direct messages, just like people texting us, and we're going to answer all your questions today.
Yeah. Why are we doing a Q&A, Matt?
Because we just kind of want to fill the gap between season 1 and 2, I guess.
Why is there a season 2?
Because
we're doing this bit.
We're doing this bit. Why is there a season 2? Because we like talking a lot, yes, and we don't want to stop.
But we also need to stop because for us, our college semester is nearly over. We've been also dealing with finals week and moving out of and into new places for the past week.
For context, we are recording this during finals week.
Yeah, in a nearly empty studio.
Yes,
so
everything is gone.
In fact, this is the only room of my apartment that still has stuff in it.
It is no longer an Everything is Fine podcast. It is the Everything is Gone podcast.
Everything is gone.
Because everything in the studio is gone.
Yeah. So, in order to fill the gap of time between the 2 weeks between when you'll be hearing this and when season 2 premieres, we figured, okay, instead of giving 3 weeks off and 4 weeks of not recording, we're giving ourselves 3 weeks of not recording and 2 weeks of no show. Yeah. So we wanted to fill the gap, and we also realized we got a lot of comments, we got a lot of funny quirks, a lot of people DM us about things about the show. So I figured we're going to give back to you guys who have made it through over a day's worth of time listening to us talk.
All we do is talk.
All we do is talk.
Thank you for listening, but oh my god, I don't know how you put up with us.
We sincerely do appreciate it. We love you guys very much. And we figured we'd answer viewer-submitted questions. And we have an entire list here of questions, and we're going to be picking them by random number generator. That way we're not picking favorites. We have a lot. We have stuff pertaining to the production of the show. We have some opinion-based questions. Our siblings, I will throw them under the bus.
Yeah.
Our siblings decided, they're doing like a viewer-submitted poll thing. Let's send them brain teasers.
Yeah, it's really... Kyle and Abby, thank you for that.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
So you'll know those questions when you hear them.
Before we get to the Q&A, though, we do want to just answer one question that wasn't sent to us directly, but it's a question we've been asked, and that is, how did we come up with the idea for the show? What's the story behind that? So just quickly to address that, it was in Hershey Park, which is a very funny thing.
This madman looks at me in line for a roller coaster that I ended up not riding.
The rest of the party that we were with were off riding some roller coaster that Sean doesn't like roller coasters at all.
I hate roller coasters.
And me personally, I was just kind of roller coastered out. I love roller coasters, but I was just kind of in the mood for, a flat ride. A ride that doesn't, go 50, 60 miles an hour and, loops you or whatnot. So we went on the Reese's Cup Fusion ride.
Oh my god.
Which
we did, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a good ride. And on that line, which was about an hour's worth of line, I would say, I turned to you and I'm like, you want to, start a podcast or something? And you just gave me this look.
I was like, you're really doing this again? Because this was not the first time he sales pitched this idea. He had made the comment multiple times over the years of I want to do something really creatively fulfilling, and I feel like a podcast or a radio show would do that. And I was like, how are you gonna pull this off? And he's like, I don't know yet. And then he approached me again on our day trip vacation. He's like, I want to figure out how to actually do this podcast. I was like, okay, how do you want to go about doing this? So we spent when did we go to Hershey Park?
That was early October?
Early October,
around there.
Yeah. So we from early October in our high of being on vacation for a weekend, we decided, all right, I'm building a new computer that will be able to actually record and process information.
Well, you didn't build the PC just to do the podcast.
Well, no, but I would have been doing it anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have this high tech computer now. It's gonna be able to do all the stuff we need.
Yeah.
We now have no excuse.
No.
So, all right, you come up with some ideas, bounce them off me, and we'll go from there. And here we are.
Yep. It also helped that the line for that ride was about an hour, so we had a lot of time to talk.
Yeah, we were able to sit here and actually structure some ideas and all that.
Yeah.
We were able to guest star on a friend's podcast
Yes.
So prior, so we had, and we talked about them in the very first episode. So go back and listen to the first episode.
Yeah.
But we were able to guest star on a friend's podcast. Their comment is pinned on that video.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we knew what it was like. We knew some experience. We knew what we wanted to do. We know what we didn't want to do. We've listened to podcasts before. We know what works, what interests us, and we said, all right, this is the format. So we're gonna go from there.
Just kind of ran with it, and we came up with the name. If you're wondering, the name is derived from the scene from Star Wars Episode 4, where Han Solo is on the comms with when he's impersonating a stormtrooper. And he goes, "Everything's under control. Everything's fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you." So that's why the show is called Everything Is Fine. If you're wondering.
You thought that the Star Wars thing was just a gimmick. It's baked into this show's DNA.
It's that, and it's also the point of, like, you and I just lose our minds when we're talking about this stuff. Yeah. But we just always have to remember, like, just as we say at the end of every show, no matter how crazy life gets, or no matter how crazy any of our arguments get, everything is fine. We're still friends.
We're still friends. Yeah, so, like, that was the whole basis. Like, we wanted the name of the show to reflect how passionate we could get, but also, like, how like, even though we love screaming at each other, it's fine. So what better way than to take something from Star Wars, the most frustrating piece of media ever.
Literally.
So yeah, that's the story of all of that. And here we are now with this.
It's like parents telling the story about how they named their kid.
Yeah. I Love You Too, Everything Is Fine podcast, episode 1. Yeah. So, I will also tip one thing. The actual statement we make at the end of every show is from the first Instagram post we made.
Yes.
I wrote that. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm taking credit.
No, take it.
I'm taking credit for one thing on the show's production. I'm taking that.
He posted the first thing, and I remember I got the notification. It's like, oh, people have liked your post. I'm like, I didn't post anything. But I was like, oh, the show podcast.
Yeah.
Because I had my own personal Instagram. I was like, oh, Sean must have posted something. I read it. I'm like, that's great. And
the worst part about this is, like, I went out with a couple of friends, and we went on like a Valentine's Day, I think, just like shopping spree of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I'm half shopping for Grace, who you have heard on the show before. I'm also walking around Walmart, also writing the show advertisement, while my friends are there helping me.
Yeah, so our first episode came out on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, our first episode came out on Valentine's Day.
The show premiered on February 14th.
Because we're terrible. Mm-hmm. We didn't think about that at all. We thought about we're like, oh, we're recording it this week. It'll be out on Sunday. That way we're not recording on Valentine's Day. When does the show come out? Valentine's Day. That's great. We didn't even do the math. We realized it on Sunday when it was Valentine's Day. I was like, this is great. So yeah, it was hilarious. So I wrote that advertisement walking around Walmart. With friends.
It worked. I mean, that tagline, that's like our thing now at the end of every show. Yeah. We have the guests say it, or either one of us says it, and that's the way we kind of go.
I wasn't trying to write a catchphrase. I was just trying to write a very wholesome advertisement.
It's very good. I enjoy it.
Yeah. And I ran it by everyone, like, that was there, and they're like, this is really good. This sounds like an actual ad. And I'm like, thanks. So that's how we got that, and then we realized, we need a sign off, and Matt just looks at me at the end of the when we go into the first episode, nervous as we were.
Yep.
And he just goes, "What are we gonna sign off as?" I was like, "You want to just read the Instagram post? I mean, like, literally, it's the only piece of media that exists for us."
Yep.
So
at that point, it was, yes.
And so we decided, because it was a stressful year, it's been a stressful time for a lot of people. All right, it was uplifting. Let's uplift people at the end of every episode if they make it there. So yeah. That's the story of this Frankenstein monster's birth.
Yay.
Now on to your questions.
Yes, of course. So I'm going to randomly number generate. So we're first answering questions.
We're picking them at random, out of random number generator.
So question 5 is what we're going for.
Question 5. We did sort these. I will say, like, one more thing before we go into it. We got the goofy existential questions from our siblings. Love you guys. Yep. But we also got a lot of questions about the show's production and some personal opinions of ours. Yeah. So
question 5 is the first one.
Question 5 is in the production category. Question 5 is, what is your favorite blooper or outtake from season 1 that fans would have loved to have seen?
Oh, a blooper or outtake.
Blooper or outtake. There were quite a few bloopers and outtakes
that they didn't hear.
So that
means it got cut out.
Yes.
Oh.
Or we started over, or we got over it. So what is one that probably we should have kept in for the laughs?
Oh boy. I think just all of our sound tests for me are just really, really funny. It's just all of us just like, ah.
We just make garbage sounding, appalling noises into
Absolutely.
the mic to test the sound. Because, like, we're not going to sit there and say, like, oh, this is the sound test, check 1, 2, 3. No. Our idea of a sound test is setting the mic on a table and screaming as loud as possible and seeing how far we have to adjust the volume.
There was the one time, it was during the DC episode, where I was hosting Bloodbath for you and Connor, and I asked you two the question of who would you recast? And I remember you and Connor both could not think of an answer.
We couldn't think of an answer.
For about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So we had about 10 minutes of content of you two just like, oh my god, I can't even think of it. It's just you two just like losing your minds, and I'm just sitting there like, hello.
So, yeah. Well, no, actually, it was terrible because you asked us that question, and Connor had no answer, and I had an answer for the role I wanted, but I didn't have an actress to replace. I immediately, like, I wish we could have kept it in, or we didn't delete it. Maybe we could have released a bloopers reel. But he goes, what is a role you would have recast in any DC movie? And Connor just sits there and he's like, I have no clue. And I immediately shout, Amber Heard. And and they look at me and like, all right, well, who? With who? And I literally I had no answer, so I just go, anyone really. And
that was a good one.
And it was so bad because I had no answer. Connor didn't even have a role. So we sat there, we stopped the recording for 10 minutes.
Yes.
Just so we could look at all the roles across DC films, because we were so not prepared for that question.
Yeah.
But then you got the very clean, sophisticated version.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. And then there was also the time where I was reading wrong information in the Pokemon episode for about 3 minutes.
So for about 3 minutes, when we're talking about type advantages, he read the wrong Wikipedia tab for a completely different type, for fairy type. He read dark type instead of fairy type. For 3 whole minutes, and I started looking at him halfway through, and I was like, something you said doesn't sound right. And he like goes and is like, well, what do you mean? I'm reading it. Oh, this isn't fairy type.
So around like the hour mark when I'm talking about fairy type, there's a very clean cut that we were able to make, but oh my god, that was really cool.
For 3 whole minutes, he goes off in the wrong direction.
Last little bit on outtakes. Also, most of our intros we have to do probably about a handful of times because we usually get those wrong.
We have to sync, like, when we do our goofy little, like, sing-song intros or sound effect intros, they're hard to do. So we have to, like, listen to the medium we're using beforehand.
Yes.
Sync ourselves to that, get the, like, tempo and cadence of whatever we need to say, and work backwards from there.
If I were to pick the 2 ones that are probably were the hardest, it was, in terms of actual sound editing and, like, layering sound, it was the Star Wars one where we had the X-Wings. And we
that was our very first one, I think.
No, it wasn't, because the one before that was the hardest one to time, and that was the Agatha...
You're right.
The WandaVision one.
No, are you sure that was the first one?
Yes. WandaVision was episode 4, and the original trilogy was episode 5 of our podcast. Trust me.
I'll believe it.
Trust me.
Yeah, also...
The Agatha one was really, really bad to time.
This man got me to sing on microphone.
You said
in front of tens of people.
You said yes.
I said yes because I knew I could use it down the line to do an intro I really wanted. So
yes,
I was
now
like,
you have a card to do whatever.
Yeah, now I get to do something crazy.
Yeah, those are just some little funny outtakes. Honestly, most of the show though we mostly do in one take, but there are a lot of times where we like flub over our words.
Well,
or
we've always done it in one take, but we've had to pause that take.
Good
before.
point. Yes.
Like,
yep.
I refuse to do more than one take because I don't want to get an hour into our talk, realize something goes wrong, and then reshoot the whole thing and make it feel organic. Yeah. We want these to feel organic.
Yeah.
So that's why we.
So we never record these episodes over the span of like multiple days. We usually just go straight through, and then we would cut things out in the middle and then splice them together.
The Justice League episode, we spent 2 hours and 10 minutes on that, and you got 2 hours worth.
Yep.
That was in one sitting. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
All right. So
hit me with the next question, Matt.
Question 7 is the next one.
Question 7.
According to the random number generator.
It is another production question. Our question 7 is, who would be your dream podcast guest and for what topic? It could be anyone. And
Literally
any topic.
Anybody. I mean, you can answer this one too. If you have your answer, go for it.
I
already know. I think I know your answer already.
I know that, like, I've seen kind of this question slightly repeat itself on the board in different forms, but I'm going to give my answer for both when they come up. I would want Matthew Mercer.
I knew you were gonna say that guy, that voice actor.
Look, man, I gotta have this. I don't.
No, it's fine.
I for those of you who do not play Dungeons and Dragons, Matthew Mercer is a voice actor that does a lot of like different video game characters. He does a few works in anime. He does a few works in movies and cartoons, and he also is famous for being the greatest dungeon master of our time. And he plays with a crew called Critical Role, and he is their dungeon master. And they have been playing D&D for like a decade. Since 5th edition pretty much came out, and he's written his own material for the game. He wrote, the first campaign Critical Role did was 120-some episodes that were 4 or 5 hours long each. And they played every Thursday. And now they're on their second campaign, and they're in like the 100 teens. So that is impressive. And he's gotten his own work published. Like, his first campaign book got published as a source material through Wizards of the Coast, the official guide for Telerai. And he got his second campaign book published. I am a DM for a couple years now that has had a wonderful community. But every DM that runs a game for their crew always wants to do better, and they always want to pick the brains of other DMs. He's certifiably a genius at this game. I would want to pick his brain on what he does for an hour and a half.
So I had time to think about it as you were talking about that. I'm a huge fan of, obviously, film is like my forte.
Yes.
And I would eventually love to write or do movie reviews online, because I just love writing movie reviews. I think it's a lot of fun. And I watch a lot of movie reviewer YouTubers. And the one that always I feel like I agree with the most, and I feel like I would want to know their process and everything. I don't know if you know of this guy, but his name is Chris Stuckman.
You have talked to me about
He's a
Chris
movie
Stuckman.
reviewer on YouTube, and he is just so insightful with all of his opinions, and he also just seems like a really fun guy to talk to. And I would probably pick him to be on a lot of our film-based episodes, maybe even one on film editing, because he also makes his own short films. And he is the editor and director and writer for all of those. So if it's a filmmaking episode, I would love to have him on. As well as there's another reviewer. His name is Jeremy Johns. He's a lot of fun as well. But I would probably want one or two of those guys on maybe a filmmaking episode if I were to pick a topic, or if they're just on for any episode that we're doing on a specific film series. They're both Star Wars fans or something like that. But we already did Star Wars, so yeah. But yeah,
and we're not doing it again.
Nope, never. But I would probably say one of those two. And if you're a huge fan of getting movie reviews when new releases come out, I highly recommend either one of those two if you don't know who they are. Jeremy Johns and Chris Stuckman. They are by far my favorites, and they would probably be and also they seem like reasonable guests, because we're not gonna pick we're not gonna make a celebrity.
We're not.
But I would love to talk to them, because they are easily my go-to YouTubers for movie reviews, by far.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Next question is question number 1.
Question number 1 was, why did you start a podcast? We did put it on here.
Oh, we did put it on here. Oh. Okay. We
was on the top? Okay, well, never mind.
We can cut this out.
No, it's fine. We're not doing it. This is the Q&A special. They get everything.
Okay. We did put it on
We did put it on here.
Well, I feel like we should start with that one, though. So I feel like
we did start.
It was good that we started.
So, yeah, it's fine.
18.
18 is down in the opinion-based ones. Now that you guys are 21, what is your go-to drink of choice? Because, yes, a viewer submitted this to us.
That was. I'll be transparent. That was my mother. She sent us that question. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
We have a go-to drink of choice. Matt, you want to go first?
Well, last night we actually just had margaritas, which was
we
very
did.
fun.
We went out and celebrated a very stressful week.
Yes.
And we went to a place in town and got margaritas that
Yeah.
were not exactly mixed the best.
I'm a big beer person, and I never thought I would be, but I usually will always but if there's a go-to cocktail, that's a little bit tougher. I am a huge fan of gin and tonics, personally. I really do. I started to get into them a lot recently, and then just at home, if I'm just mixing a drink together, I'm a huge fan of orange flavored things.
Yeah.
So I like to mix orange soda, preferably Orange Crush or Fanta or something, with vanilla Pinnacle vodka. So it creates almost an orange cream alcoholic drink.
That's not bad.
And it's really, really cool. I also recommend mixing Pink Whitney with Sprite. That tastes pretty good. And I also am just a huge fan of just like a normal beer. Preferably for me, I like Blue Moons and Yinglings. And Sam Adams would probably be my go-to beers. But yeah, those are usually my drinks of choice. If I'm feeling dangerous at a restaurant, I'll get like a random cocktail. Like I remember when I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, I got like some like citrusy thing. Like that was really cool. So okay, those are my go-to drinks.
I have a very strange taste. I as far as like base alcohol, I do like making my own cocktails at home. I normally spring for a vodka base, and I also get yelled at a lot for this by my peers. You know who you are. But I like Blue Wave and Red Wave vodka, which is terribly cheap and it's not good, but it's flavored really sweet, and I like sweetness over bitter. So I'll spring for those, and I'll mix those with various sodas. The Blue Wave is blue raspberry flavored, and I'll throw that in with like Orange Crush for like a citrusy thing, or I'll do Mountain Dew because I'm insane. And that's always good. Red Wave is the same. You can do either of those sodas with that. I like a rum and Coke every once in a while. I do too, yeah. I have fallen in love with Black Kraken spiced rum, which is a very, very, very like high alcohol content rum. So I will use that very sparingly, but I do like a good rum and Coke every once in a while. I'm fan of I've seen a few restaurants do it. Buffalo Wild Wings is one. A Long Branch cream soda.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is gin, tonic, and vanilla extract, and a few other things. Mm-hmm. So those are very, very good. I do like harder liquors. I will drink a beer every once in a while. I'll drink a Heineken. I'll drink a Yingling. They're not bad. Yeah. I'll drink a few Dogfish Head as well.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. So wait, when we went to Split Rail, what did you get?
I went to Split Rail. I got they called it the Roman Holiday.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was like some like fruity thing.
It was it was like a citrusy thing, but it ended up being really bitter.
Yeah,
for some reason.
That's where I got the strawberry and lime gin and tonic, and you looked at me and you're like, "You like this?"
Yeah, I was like, "You're a gin and tonic man?" Like I
wasn't, and then I went to that tavern a couple times and I ordered their gin and tonic, and it's just I really like their edition of that.
Because like I knew you liked fruity stuff, and I was like, you would like gin and tonic?
Well, it had strawberry and lime.
It had strawberry and lime in that one, but I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Next question is this number right here.
Next question is 19. What would be your lightsaber color of choice and why? Ooh. So this is an interesting question because like we could go about this two different ways. We could go about this like we're playing like Jedi Last Order and we get to choose a crystal. Or what do you think the color would be for us?
Yeah, because what do I want it to be? That's another thing from what I actually think it would be.
So I'll say we answer this in two parts. What do you want your color to be?
Oh, absolutely green.
You want green?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. Green lightsabers are the... When I first saw Luke Skywalker's lightsaber Return of the Jedi and I saw it was green, I lost my mind. Because up until then I hadn't seen one. Yeah. And then ever since then, Yoda has had one. Granted, Yoda in the prequels isn't great, but Yoda is my favorite Star Wars character, especially in Empire. And he has a green one. Qui-Gon Jinn has a green lightsaber. Like, green lightsabers are awesome. They're so cool. And we didn't see one in the sequel trilogy. They they weren't there.
They didn't exist.
And then in The Mandalorian, we saw Luke with a green lightsaber again. I'm so happy he had the green one and not the blue one because, oh my goodness, it was fantastic. Yeah. It was so good. But yeah, I would say I would want it to be green. What would you want it to be?
I would want a purple one.
Because Samuel Jackson wants one too.
No, it's not because of Samuel Jackson. It's because of my cursed knowledge of the extended universe. I love the story of Darth Revan, and there's so many of you who probably don't know who that is. And if you don't, go find him. Darth Revan is probably one of my favorite tragedies within the Star Wars like universe, the extended universe. If you played Knights of the Old Republic, it's him. I love the purple lightsaber because, like, in that continuity, the purple lightsaber. I mean, I don't think this falls into me, but I love the weight it carries with the characters it carried. It's someone who embraces the light but is aware of the darkness inside them, which sounds super edgy. I'm not that edgy, but characters like Mace Windu who struggle with his aggression, and Revan, who was brainwashed into joining the dark side and had to redeem himself. To me, purple almost stands for like a redemption style, like I have risen above things, and I like that. I like that kind of color. I would like to wield a lightsaber like that.
Very, very fair.
As far as choosing a color, like what the crystal would choose for us, I could almost see you getting like the green or at least the blue.
I think I would get either green or I think it's orange. That is more like you're more. Green and orange are kind of synonymous in the sense that you rely more on your mind than your muscle.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would probably be one of the... Because I'm not a person that is going to go in, guns blazing with a lightsaber and try to knock out a bunch of stormtroopers. I want to be the guy, like, a good mix of both. So I would think maybe green would be a valid choice for me, but maybe also orange. Even though orange is very rare in Star Wars, it does mean that you rely more on your power of, like, negotiation and, like... your mind and your words as opposed to like actually going and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're more like the wise sage in the background.
Interestingly enough, this is a side fact. There was in Star Wars continuity, there was one instance of an orange lightsaber being on the Jedi Council in its entire history, and it was also the only time a Wookiee ever got onto the Jedi Council. Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
I'm a Wookiee.
Yeah. I have I don't know. What do you think my color would be? I really can't tell.
Red.
All right, we're sticking with that. Matt said it. I'm a Sith Lord.
No, I'm kidding.
No, we're going with that. That's cool.
You're not a Sith. I honestly think purple would be good because purple is like a mix of good and bad.
And I'm ornery. Yeah, I will admit that.
Because like you're good at heart, but like you can sometimes be a little chaotic.
I'm a little crazy. I feel like if we removed the whole light and dark balance thing and it was just like he's pretty good but he's also a nut job, I feel like I could pull off a very ornery purple. But yeah.
Yeah.
We're pulling the next question.
Yeah.
Random number generator. So next question is, are you really like this? So, I'm assuming that means to what you hear on the show.
I would hope so.
Are you really like this? Almost.
Yeah.
Kinda.
About.
We kind of give you like the stage performance style of ourselves.
Yeah.
We try to act a bit professional, but with that touch of madness that spawned this show.
Yes.
So
I think that's very fair.
In real life, I'm the kind of person who like I will sit in like the back of a classroom and not say anything. Mm-hmm. Unless like I'm directly involved in a group project or like I am called on. I'm the kind of person who like I will walk down the hallway and smile and wave at most people. And in a private setting with like people I know, like Matt here and other friends of ours, yes, I am this feral. So you're getting a little bit of that private side of me from this, but I mostly try to blow some things out of proportion. I try to act a little bit more like professional style, like radio host.
Same here. Yeah. I would say it's definitely a bit of an exaggeration. We try to create arguments where maybe they aren't.
Yeah, we definitely try to take some dumb positions on things when we really shouldn't.
And there's another question that I'm sure we can relate back to this, but yeah, I would say for the most part, because most of my arguments, like whenever Sean and I would have some of these like intense conversations and arguments, I would not be this overly passionate and like raise my voice. I'd be much more analytical and very like just
yeah.
But on this show, I kind of dialed it up to 11.
Yeah, because we want to have an entertainment value. We want to have you guys actually like lean back in your seats when you listen to it and be like, oh,
and me personally,
they're nuts.
Me personally, I always had this thing where before like the metaphorical curtain goes up and the show starts, like when I was even in like in high school with like musicals, I would always be so nervous before the show started, but then as soon as the show started, I'd be fine.
Yes.
It's very similar with this show because during planning, I am very nervous and trying to just plan out everything, make sure we have everything under control, and then the show starts, and then everything is fine, no pun intended.
Yeah. I think a perfect example of that kind of like the stage is set kind of mentality is the first episode. Go back and listen to the first episode, and then go back and listen to like the final 2 episodes of this season.
It's a different show.
It's a different show. We were so ungodly nervous.
Oh, my goodness.
For the first episode, that, like, you can tell. It's where we got the running gag of I put my foot in my mouth at least once an episode. Because I was so nervous that I was reading my sticky notes wrong. Yeah. Like, I sat here behind the microphone with my hand twitching while I was reading. So, of course, I didn't think it was The Dark Knight. So,
I do remember that, yes.
It was bad. I was bad. But I was so nervous. But, like, look at us now. We're so used to talking to nothingness.
Yeah.
That we might as well be talking in front of a live audience.
All right. Next question is going to be number 14.
Number 14. Where's... Oh, I have the list.
You have the list.
Sorry. 14. If... I like this question. Because I'm not a fan of this movie. But, if you could add an emotion to the Inside Out characters, what would it be? I don't like this movie.
That's a good question,
This is great for me.
Well, I love this movie. But
I don't.
Honestly, I don't think like the movie needs another emotion, but if we were to add one... Because, like, the thing is, a lot of the other emotions that you would add are just, like, derivatives of joy and sadness.
Yeah, like, you kind of got the 5 blanket emotions pretty down.
Yeah, because, like, you can add, like, you know, like, love or, like, trust or something, but, like... Actually, I think I might add trust.
It's not an emotion.
Trust is not an emotion?
That's a concept.
Fine, we'll cut that out.
We're not gonna... Why do you... We're not cutting this out. We're giving the viewers everything on this one.
What about, like, because, like, jealousy is just, like, anger.
It's a combination of, like...
Yeah.
Anger and envy.
Yeah, like, maybe, like... I'm gonna go with... Maybe, like, hope?
You're gonna go with hope?
Maybe hope? Because, like, when Riley is, like, leaving home, like, she loses hope. Maybe hope is the emotion that, like, goes dormant, pretty much. That'd be kind of sad, honestly.
Makes sense.
If hope is an emotion from the beginning, and then when Riley decides to run away, hope is just, like, you see hope almost get, like, Thanos, where she just starts to disappear because Riley's just lost all hope. Like, that'd be interesting. I don't know. That's a hard question, because I feel like all the 5 emotions kind of work. Trust. I'm such a moron.
Trust. No, I mean, like, it's.
I'm gonna go with hope.
I'm gonna make a pick that I think would be decent, like, if you wanted to explore, like, if they ever made a sequel to this movie. I'm gonna go with anxiety. And, like, I know that we have fear, and fear does a really good job being characterized in this one. Like, he's nervous, he's got nervous energy. But, like, I want to put anxiety in there because, like, think about it. We've seen the movie. She creates such this, like, place of anxiety for herself in Riley the entire time that you could honestly characterize anxiety as she becomes, like, a teenager in the second film as, like, looking very similar to fear, but being so much, like out there and weird. Like, take Fear in his, like, plaid sweater vest and, like, finely combed hair, and then transfer that to very similar body shape, but, like, give him a different color.
Yeah.
Make him, like, really disheveled. Make him, like crazy hair, things like that. And there, boom, you have anxiety, who just looks like a wreck.
Yeah. For the sequel, you can also say love, if, like, because, like, you know, puberty.
You could also say love, because puberty. You can't feel love until you hit puberty.
You know, hormones start running. All right,
so you want to say lust, then.
Lust. All right. Next question is number 3.
Next question is number 3. Number 3 is, if given the chance, which celebrity would you accept as a guest on the show and why? We already kind of answered this, I have a secondary answer, and also not a celebrity, but, like, another individual who is more famous than us.
Yeah.
Brian David Gilbert.
Yeah. Okay. Can I second this answer?
Yes.
Because this is perfect.
Yes.
Yes. I think this might be the perfect one.
For those of you who don't know who Brian David Gilbert is, shame on you.
Since we both already kind of answered this question before, let's just both communally say this one because I 110% agree with you.
Yes. Brian David Gilbert is a independent content creator on YouTube who used to work for a company called Polygon, which is very similar to IGN. They both do, like, game reviews and things like that. They publish their own, like, game journalism.
Different content series.
They do a lot of stuff. And Brian David Gilbert worked for them for a couple years. And several years ago, he came out with a show for Polygon called Unraveled. Unraveled ended up being not just a favorite series that me and Matt have seen every episode of and have watched when we're just bored, but it also served as a large inspiration for how we wanted to carry the tone of the show.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I would love to get the opportunity to interview Brian David Gilbert as a content creator, as what did you do what was your process behind the Unravels? Because he would take a concept, for those of you who've never seen these episodes, he would take a concept, like the first episode of the show, he said, I'm going to fix the Zelda timeline.
Yes.
I'm going to put all of the Legend of Zelda games on the same timeline and figure it out.
But not just the games, like all the spin-offs every piece of Zelda media.
He said it would be too easy to just put the game. So he took every existing piece of Legend of Zelda medium lore ever and put it on one timeline. So there ended up being 80 pieces of information on the timeline.
And I mean, I'm not a huge Zelda person. I've barely played any of the games. I know what you have, though. And I know that surprises everyone when I tell them that, but I really have never been a big Zelda fan. But for those of you who do not know, the Zelda timeline is an absolute,
It's an absolute mess.
It's just a mess, because I believe Ocarina of Time splits it into 3 timelines.
Yes.
But then by Breath of the Wild, all 3 timelines converge, and the games never explain how.
Well, don't tell them how, because I want them to go watch
I know, but
it.
Brian David Gilbert fills in those gaps, and it's kind of genius, honestly.
Yes. And he does that with so many different things on the show. He does crazy amounts of research.
Just to name a few other episodes, he does, he breaks down what Bowser's military hierarchy would look like in the Mario games. He reads every single book from Skyrim.
And then he gives a book report on them all.
He distinguishes every single character in Fire Emblem by archetype, and then realizes that they're all the same.
All 590 of them.
He does when Mario can retire by the inflation rate of coins in the Mushroom Kingdom.
He scientifically calculates the game of the year.
Game of the year, yeah. He does Super Smash Brothers stages, how many OSHA violations each one has. It's just all this weird.
He also wrote the perfect Pokemon.
Well, that's his magnum opus.
Yes.
But yes, if you have not seen Unraveled, there's about 20 to 30 of them.
There's about 25, and it just recently ended because he left Polygon. But he's back doing his own private content creation, so please go find Brian David Gilbert.
I would love to have him on to go through his creative process and how he comes up with all these. He takes one thing and makes it into something completely different.
By the end of the episode, it's a train wreck that beautifully ties itself up, and it's so fantastic.
He usually has a whiteboard or some sort of visual aid model that by the end of it looks like he's an insane police detective trying to piece together a murder, and there's all these things on the whiteboard that if you just looked at it, you have no idea what.
The best example of that is he also tries to dissect the story elements of Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, well, that's you. That's you.
Yeah, that's me. I like Kingdom Hearts, and that's a dangerous thing to say. But he tries to walk you through the story elements of Kingdom Hearts, and it's a mess. That game is a mess. Those games are a horrible, hot mess, and I love them anyways.
But BDG, absolutely.
Go find BDG.
Yes.
He deserves your attention.
Love it. All right, so next question is number 16.
16 on our list is in opinions. Are hot dogs a sandwich?
Okay.
Why did you send us this?
I forget who sent us this, but
I know.
Is
I'm
a
not
hot
going to
dog
call
a
him out.
sandwich? 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
No. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Are we really having this fight?
Can I just say one thing? I hate the idea of this question because why does everything need to be categorized in this world? That's something that always pisses me off about this question. Why can't a hot dog just be a hot dog?
You don't see labels?
It's just I just like this question, and then the other one that always pisses me off is cereal soup. Why can't cereal just be cereal?
Cereal is a soup.
Why does everything need to be in its in a category?
Hot
why
dogs,
can't it just be its own thing?
Hot dogs are a sandwich. It's a open-faced sandwich.
See,
I
don't agree with that though. I really don't. Because a sandwich to me when you think of the word sandwich, if I were just tell you the word sandwich,
we're really doing this.
If a hot dog comes to mind, there's something wrong with you. I'm just saying.
It shouldn't be your first idea, but it's an idea.
I see the argument for why a hot dog is a sandwich, but I personally have never once thought of it as a sandwich. I understand why people do, because it fits all the criteria. Yeah, there's a bread. It's open face as opposed to, like, 2 pieces of bread or whatnot. And there's a meat in the middle with other toppings, like, if you put relish or mustard or ketchup on it, or chili cheese dog or something like that. Like, yes, it fits it checks off all the boxes. But for me, it just doesn't check off the most important. That's the eye test. It doesn't look like a sandwich.
It doesn't look like a sandwich.
It
That's
looks
fair.
Like, that's the thing. Like, yeah, it checks off all the boxes, but it doesn't check off the eye test. And for me, my eyes tell me more than anything I read. And if I don't see a sandwich, then it's not a sandwich to me.
All right. I said yes. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't really want to get into this.
I don't want to fight this conversation.
If our friend Glenn is listening, the first time I ever met one of my best friends, Glenn, who I still talk to this day, the first time I ever met him, we got into this debate, and he also thinks it's a sandwich, and I do not, and we talked and debated for this for about 30 to 45 minutes, and that's how we became friends.
Yeah.
So Glenn, if you're listening, hot dogs are not a sandwich, even though you disagree with me, but it's fine.
It's brilliant. What's the next question, Matt?
Yeah, but I was very, very worried when that question came up. It's like, I really hope this doesn't get ugly.
It's not going to get ugly.
15.
15. Okay, so what are you looking forward to about college in the fall?
Being more in person.
Yeah, being more in person is one thing.
Also, personal stuff. I have a degree where I have to start writing a thesis starting next year, so I have to start doing my research for that, and it's going to be a lot of work, but it's also going to be a lot of fun. And I also am going to be teaching private piano lessons as well through a nearby studio, so that's also pretty exciting. So those are some things I'm excited about, but mostly the fact that campus will be, for the most part, more full than it is right now. So
I'm excited for my new apartment. That is going to be fantastic.
me as well.
Yeah, both of us have new places we're living, and they're going to be great. We've started to move stuff into my new apartment, and already we have swords mounted on our wall.
Like Ted and Marshall. How about your mother?
Yeah. So it's really cool. We're making that place a wonderfully nerdy haven. So I'm excited for that. I don't have to write a thesis.
I'm excited too, though.
However, I will say this: I do have a lot of classes I am excited for. I have the last few of my gen ed, the last few of my major specifics, but I have the least amount of classes I've ever taken. So I'm excited to relax and live a little.
I'm a double major, so I'll be taking a lot of classes next semester because I want to get out of here in 4 years. But,
so yeah, I'm just basically excited for an easy kind of half of a year.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for that.
Also, we both have we're both putting on our senior recitals.
Yes, we are both doing some music recitals, which is a scary thought.
Yeah. Sean on the trombone, and myself on the piano.
Yep, that's it. The piano.
The piano. All right, so our next question is going to be number 9.
Number 9.
This is one of the existential ones.
If Pinocchio said, "My nose will grow," what would happen?
This was sent in by my brother.
All right,
I'll let you take this one.
I figured this one out.
You figured this out.
I'm here to beat this question. So I figured this out because I saw this when it was submitted, and I sat on my phone for a solid 5 minutes, and I was like, "Why?"
Well, my brother texted
Just
me.
why?
Like, I just sent you a question that's gonna break your brain, and I was like,
It didn't break my brain. It more so just angered me that it existed, and I was like, so. Here's the thing. You've beaten yourself, Kyle. And it said, if Pinocchio said, and I quote, "My nose will grow."
That verbatim.
What will happen? That is the truth. Because he didn't specify when. He's bound to tell another lie in his life.
Absolutely.
And if he truly believes, oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to tell another lie in the rest of my life. And he says that means it's the truth. It won't grow in that moment. However, I'll take it one step further. If it said, "My nose will grow now," it is a lie, but then it would immediately correct itself because it would know it's a lie. The nose would grow. It would self-correct.
Yeah.
And then it would immediately retract.
Yep.
So it wouldn't even, it would probably grow at 3 centimeters before realizing, oh wait, this actually becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Mm-hmm. And then it would retract.
Plus you have to think about it, if someone were to ask him, oh, what happens if you tell a lie? And Pinocchio goes, oh, well then my nose will grow.
That's the truth. He's answering a question.
But if he just out of the blue, is just out of context says, my nose will grow,
Nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen because his nose will eventually grow again. So it is the truth. But as you said, if he's like, my nose will grow now, then it would probably be this weird like self-correction thing. So yeah, that's Sean. Thank you for deducing that.
Yes.
Because that was quite.
Get that out of here.
That was quite the question. So thanks, Kyle, for that. So our next question is number 4.
Number 4. What is one regret you have about the show?
Too much Star Wars.
I sang on microphone. No, I'm kidding.
Too much Star Wars. No, one regret I have actually is that we spent like the first 8 weeks of this show just talking about movies.
Yeah,
That's probably my biggest regret. The last like 5 weeks of the show, we've actually done a really great job diversifying it because we've done a board game episode, we did Pokemon, we did the TV episode,
party video
games, and then we did literally like a couple different topics toward the end. But the first 8 weeks, it was pretty much just Star Wars, Harry Potter, Pixar, DC. Like, it was just a bunch of movies. That's probably my biggest regret.
We drowned this season in movies.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that again. Like, we need to... We already have virtually every episode planned for the next season.
Yeah.
And, yeah, there's some film in there.
Mm-hmm. But as we said, we're doing the Marvel movies.
Yeah, we're going to... That's the premiere episode. I'm letting you know right now.
Mm-hmm.
Our premiere episode will
phase
be
1.
Phase 1 of the Marvel Universe.
And then we'll go on from there and do Phase 2 after that, and then Phase 3 after that.
Yeah. But we know that we want to do less focus on just, here's a movie franchise, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
We want to actually do some more varied things, which we're going to be able to fulfill that very easily in the upcoming season, and even in the fall, because we're probably going to still do this in the fall. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be fantastic with what we can remedy from this season.
Yes. Absolutely. That's probably my biggest regret, though. I don't really think there's... I'm trying to think, like, is there anything else? I mean, I thought we had a good amount of guests on the show.
Yeah,
I feel like that would probably be a good one.
I don't know.
I guess maybe, like, not keeping up with but sometimes we would lose track of the Instagram page.
Yeah.
And we would...
we suck.
Also, the watch going off.
That's not a regret. That's a staple of the show. No, we suck with the Instagram page.
Yeah, we apologize.
We really do. We try to answer everyone. We try to answer all of it. We're also busy college kids who've been running around like headless chickens for the past few months.
But we appreciate all the answers, and please
we at least see them and read them and appreciate them.
We read them and appreciate them. Just sometimes we don't get around to responding to everybody's, but we thank you all for being active on the Instagram page even when we're not. So thank you.
Yes, please continue to listen to our BS we spout out.
Yeah, that's probably our biggest regret, though. Not a lot, though. We've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
Question 12.
If you could star in any movie, what would it be?
Ooh, like any pre-existing film?
I don't know. It just said star in any movie.
Okay, so I'm going to answer it 2 ways. So if I were to insert myself in a pre-existing film.
Yes.
Or if I were to star in a movie of my choosing, like, creativity.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
I already know what one of my answers would be.
Then go, because I don't know yet.
I would like to be cast in the upcoming Dungeons & Dragons movie as the protagonist, or the Dungeon Master, or the villain. Any one of those roles.
Horrible.
Any one. I want to do it. I want to make that movie so good.
Horrible.
I don't know if it is going to be good. It probably won't be, if we're being realistic. But, like, I want that. I want that so much. Please.
In a D&D
Please
movie.
cast me. I know what I'm doing. Like...
I would actually want to be. This is actually. I'm gonna like do a curveball. I'm not gonna answer the. I don't, because I'm very uncomfortable. Like, I don't like being on camera. Like, I don't like watching myself like on camera. I don't mind hearing myself, but I don't like actually seeing myself on camera do things because I hate the way I act. But the way I talk, I don't mind. That's why I listen to the show all the time.
Yeah.
So I would actually want to be a voice actor.
That's pretty sweet.
I would put myself as like I would want to be like a background like additional voice guy on SpongeBob, that'd be fun. But in terms of like an upcoming movie, cast me as Appa in the Last Airbender live action movie or live action TV series that they're making.
Oh my God, no!
Cast me as Appa. I'll make all the Appa noises.
Please don't. I will give you that though. I will say that like. It's interesting you say like you can't watch yourself. I can't watch myself when I do like a school assignment that requires me to record myself.
No,
I can't do that at all. But
I can't do
however, I can listen to / watch myself act. So like our D&D community records a lot of our D&D sessions. And yes, we don't do video, we do audio. But I throw on an accent and I'll act in character for the character I do. And I can watch myself act because I'm not watching myself. I'm watching me be another person. So me in a movie, I feel like is fine. Like, I just gotta,
that's fair.
I gotta lose a little weight, practice a bit,
because like
I'll be fine.
For me, I was in like my high school musicals and in high school, and my parents buy all the DVDs of them because they like watching them every now and then. I can't watch those because I can't watch myself literally.
It is a joy to watch them, especially when he's on the couch next to you squirming.
Yep, it's annoying. Also, I need to post the pictures of me as Beast.
We still need to. It'd be fantastic.
But yeah, no, I would probably want to be, or make me, better yet, not even just the voice actor for Appa, make me the motion capture guy, like Andy Serkis as Caesar.
Andy Serkis as Caesar.
Like, make me motion cap, put like all like the stuff on, but make me actually be Appa.
Oh my god.
Full disclosure, I'm currently almost done with The Last Airbender, and I have absolutely no shame in saying that Appa is my favorite character. Like
you might be so alone in that.
Spoiler alert for minor spoiler for season 2. There's a couple of episodes. I won't say why if you've never seen the show because it's truly magical. Go watch it. But there's a couple episodes, maybe like 5 or 6 in a row, where Appa's not really in it that much. But then after that, there's an episode that's almost solely based on Appa. And I watched it with you, and as soon as I saw the title called, it's like Appa's whatever, I was like, Appa! And I literally screamed so loud because it's like...
Everyone in the room was concerned that he was having a medical emergency.
I missed my boy. Appa is my favorite character because, as Connor said, he's basically Chewbacca and the Millennium Falcon in one character. Like, come on. Like,
all right.
It's so good. Question 2 is the next one.
Question 2... is, have you ever disagreed with your co-host but let it slide?
Oh,
all right. God. What was it?
Buckle up.
This is where it's gonna get ugly.
What was it? There's so many to choose from.
Just go on.
Okay,
go on.
I'll pick 3. I'll pick 3 things.
Okay, I get a few then.
You get 3. I get 3.
All right. I don't know if I have 3, but I know I have like 2.
1, I disagreed not necessarily with your selection of Onward at the number 1 slot of the Pixar movies list, but I disagreed with the notion that you put something. Well, I wasn't upset that you put Onward number 1. I was just upset that you put the movie that you literally watched that morning at number 1 because it was just fresh in your head and you liked it. I just really disagreed with that impulse decision.
I have a confession to make.
Picks up the microphone.
I did. I have a confession to make. So, yes, at the time of recording that, I had freshly watched Onward for the first time, and it struck some chords. I love the aesthetic. I still like this movie. However, in recent weeks, I decided I need to be an adult, and I went back and I rewatched it, and I went back and I rewatched a few Pixar movies on my own when I was bored doing homework, and I'm gonna retroactively correct my statement that WALL-E still is number 1.
Yeah!
Look, I regret saying I would put Onward at like my top 3 though. Like
that's fair.
Probably like number 3.
I've known you for a couple years now, and you worship the ground that WALL-E stands on.
And I feel bad for betraying him for about 4 weeks of my life.
I still listen to that soundbite every now and then. When you say number 2 is WALL-E, and I go, really? And then it takes me like 10 seconds for it to settle in, and I go, wait, did you just? And then you go, like you like stop me.
Yeah, I stopped you.
And then I just
because I knew he was so mad at me.
Wait, did you just actually do that? Like, I was actually like dumbfounded.
I will admit my wrongness in my own opinion. Great, it's subjective, so I'm only wrong to myself.
It's not that I disagree with you. I was just like
you were so shocked and angry with me,
and like just like really. Like
I have a confession. I have a confession though. WALL-E, I was wrong. WALL-E is still my boy. And I'll put like Onward at like number 3. I don't even remember what my list was.
Your list, I can pull it up because we have it on the Instagram.
Go on, pull up.
You had Soul at number 3.
And what was number 2? WALL-E.
WALL-E, and then Coco was 4.
Put it at like 3.
So you think Soul is now your number 2, and
I think
WALL-E's
Soul
is
probably my number 2.
Okay.
So like Soul was very good.
Okay. Another time I disagree with you was your entire opinion on Raya and the Last Dragon, but I don't really want to.
That's a movie review quality. We're not getting into that.
We won't get into that.
Last night, after he had a few margaritas, he went off for about 30 whole minutes on why he thought I was wrong about Raya and the Last Dragon.
It's not necessarily why I thought you were wrong. It's just why I don't like that movie.
Yeah, I know.
Because I just didn't like it.
I know.
And then I guess the other time I disagree with you was honestly this past episode where you had the Lion King so low. Although I really did not let that slide. Like the question is, have you ever disagreed with let it slide? That's the one time I didn't let it slide.
You called me out horribly.
That is the one time I didn't let it slide. And actually, no, there is another time. When you both were like, DC is like better than Phase 1 Marvel, I also... That whole episode I disagreed with you, but I let it slide because I didn't want to pollute the episode with just DC versus Marvel.
Yeah.
But that actually is a perfect answer for Deadly Lettuce. Because that whole episode, I act like nothing's wrong. But that whole episode, I'm like, no, Marvel.
He was fuming that whole episode.
Yeah. That's actually a perfect answer because I did let that one slide, but I did disagree with you at the same time.
I have a few.
Okay. I'm interested.
Look.
Don't trash Monsters Inc. That's my only
Monsters Inc. suck. I'm kidding. I mainly have one, and there's little bits that, like, mostly it's like the bloodbath questions where I was like, you're a moron for saying some of those opinions.
I know.
But like, there is one as someone who enjoys writing in his spare time and creates a continuity. Look, something in a writing continuity can be bad, but if the rest of it has parts you enjoy, you have to take the whole thing as its established fact, you know? Like, you might not like it, but these events happened. So when you flat out said at the end of the Star Wars trilogy episode that you're like, I just prefer to think of 7, 8, and 9 as not canon, I lost my shit. I was like, are you kidding me? Look, 7, 8, and 9 are... We talked about them on the show. They're better than I thought they were originally going into this. And there's still problems, but all of Star Wars is bad. That's the point. Star Wars isn't good. It's good because you are nostalgic for it and you find moments you like. But all of Star Wars is fundamentally a train wreck. We love that train wreck so much, though, because it's what we were born into. But you cannot... It's borderline, like... It's borderline ignorant to say, well, I don't like these, so they're not canon. Like, you have to appreciate the medium of writing. And I was like, that's the reason we get movies like 7, 8, and 9 when you say, that's not canon.
I may have been a bit too harsh. A better use of those words would have just been, I just don't prefer to really just ever watch those.
Yes. It was the way you stated the phrase that I disagreed.
think that was just me
I knew what you meant to
fed
say.
Up after all the Star Wars episodes, and I was just like, you know what, screw it, they're not canon. Like, it was
yeah,
just me
you just said, I'm going to do something for entertainment value.
Yeah, that's a really good example of me exaggerating my own opinions.
Yeah, I disagreed with the entertainment value of how he phrased that. Yeah. I understand your point you made, but the phrasing was very like, whoa.
I will say the phrasing was a bit off. It's just, whenever I think of the Skywalker saga, I tend to think of 1 through 6, and I usually don't think of 7, 8, and 9 as things I prefer to enjoy. That's just me.
Yeah.
I just don't like those movies.
Yeah.
But I apologize if I offended anyone who likes the sequel trilogy. If you like the sequel trilogy, your opinion is valid. I'm happy you enjoy those movies. Yeah. I just do not.
Also, one more thing before we move on to the next question. The intro for the Harry Potter episode.
You mean the outro when we did the singing?
Both.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like either idea, but I was like, we have to start recording sometime today, and I can't come up with a better idea, but I hated the intro we did, and I hated the Harry Potter Puppet Pals because I was like, you got me to sing in WandaVision, I'm not singing again, and then you got me to sing again!
Yep.
Twice! 2 times!
I have magical powers.
So yeah, I disagreed with the creative directing choices on that episode.
Next question, because if we keep talking about this, we're going to keep going on.
I know.
11.
I like how we said we were going to shorten this.
11, yeah.
How many do we have left? I'm curious.
We have 6.
Oh, okay. We're reaching the end. 11. Okay. We got another one that was slightly weirdly worded, so we're going to answer it 2 ways again. If you had to fight one battle in the Star Wars universe, which one and why? We didn't really understand if that meant, like, fight in a duel or fight in, like, a battle. So we're going to answer, like, what's a duel you would have liked to assist with, and what is a battle you would have loved to have fought in?
Okay. In terms of a battle I would like to have fought in, I would probably say the battle where they, on Endor with the Ewoks.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
Endor's high up for me.
Because the Ewoks are fun, and Endor actually seems like a fun planet, and like you could actually like use the terrain to your advantage. I feel like there's a lot of cool battle tactics that can come out of that one. I don't want to have anything where like I'm flying anything.
Yeah.
Like the Battle of Hoth or like any of the Death Star assaults, absolutely not. Like
no flying.
No way. Like
flying.
No,
I agree. I hate flying as well.
Flying on an airplane when I'm just sitting there. Controlling one, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. The most I could do would be sit in Luke Skywalker's X-wing with him, like as like a backseat driver, and just be like, "Hey, make sure you hit the thing." Like that. Like I wouldn't be able to actually contribute. I would just be too anxious to do anything.
Yeah.
But in terms of like I would much more attend to on the ground fighting. And if I were to pick one, I'd pick the Battle of Endor at the end of Episode 6.
I'd probably agree with you, to be honest. Like, there are a lot of really cool battles, but I think that Endor just is kind of... it's the epitome of Star Wars battle.
Good one. The only other one
to be a ground troop on Endor would be really cool.
The only one I can think of besides like that would be like maybe the end of Episode 1 where they're on Naboo, because Naboo seems like a fun place to be.
Naboo definitely seems like a good battlefield.
Yeah, that seems like fun. Now, in terms of like a one-on-one duel, or like a lightsaber... Is that what you mean by like the second part? Like a lightsaber
I guess,
fight?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really want to fight a Jedi Master.
But I imagine you'd be competent enough.
I actually have one. I would like to participate in the lightsaber fight where Mace Windu and a bunch of other people showed up to Palpatine, because I actually feel like I could have done better than the people.
You could have done better than literally everyone.
Mace Windu, because literally all the other people that Mace Windu brought died immediately.
Yeah,
they did nothing.
You think that you could last more than one sword?
Literally, like if you look, Palpatine jumps, does that little like corkscrew flip, and literally immediately kills a Jedi because he's like turned the other way. It's like, huh? Are we fighting? And then he dies.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could have actually done,
or at least be aware.
I probably could have died. I probably would have died, but like I could have at least maybe given Palpatine a bit of a challenge, because just fighting Mace Windu, that's a one-on-one battle. But if I'm able to stick around for longer and make it a 2-on-1, maybe weaken him, maybe like take out one of his vital strengths. Something might have happened. Yeah. Maybe we could have actually stopped the Galactic Empire from rising.
Yeah. I kind of realized that with my second answer with a duel, I'm kind of answering the first part again. I would have liked to have been a Jedi in the arena.
Ooh,
on
okay.
Geonosis.
All right.
Like the backup that gets Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan out. Like that would have been really cool. Like I don't want to be a part of like the clone troopers that are outside on like the rugged battlefield, like just blowing up people's homes. I don't want to commit war crimes, but like I think that the arena duel would have been really cool to be a part of.
No, totally.
As a Jedi, that would have been really neat. Cool. Also, I would have absolutely been the Jedi to destroy droid C-3PO.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I would have been like, that's not right, and I would have just removed the head and we're like, find this. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next question, number 6. Good question, by the way. That was fun.
Number 6. What was your favorite podcast episode and bloodbath, and why?
Okay.
Favorite podcast episode and bloodbath, because not every episode had a bloodbath.
I think my favorite bloodbath was me and my brother in the TV one for a number of reasons. One, actually a very good fight. And 2, I've known my brother for my entire life because he's older than me. I've known him for my entire life, and he's awesome. But he is a person that is he's even more so like me in the fact that he's very nervous to like be in front of crowds and like do stuff. Yeah. Like he was never in any shows in high school, or like but I was so impressed with how good he was on that bloodbath that I literally thought I was going to lose every single question, because his arguments were actually really well thought out, and I felt extremely challenged.
Just keep calling him out.
He was so good. I was so impressed, and I really feel like that was actually one of the better bloodbath. I mean, you and I have obviously had some really good ones too, but I fought you so many times at this point that I know what I'm expecting. That was just so not what I was expecting, and it was just a joy to answer those questions with my brother and go head to head with him. That was a lot of fun. That was probably my favorite bloodbath. My favorite episode, that's a tougher one because there've been a lot of good ones, but I really actually liked, I'm gonna pick 2. I really liked the Pixar one early on.
Oh, like episode 2.
I really liked the Pixar one because it was just, in terms of just episodes with you and I think the Pixar one was my favorite. But in terms of having a guest, I hate to like pick guests. Don't think that this is like my favorite guest.
Yeah. We love all of our guests equally.
But I really enjoyed the Party Games episode with Jarrett.
That was a lot of fun.
Because especially the ending where we like made the Mario Kart races and we did the Smash Brothers rankings and we did the Jackbox one. I just feel like that was really, really fun.
Yeah.
But honestly, there's not been a single episode that I have not liked. I've loved every single one.
Yeah, I've loved every single
I've
episode.
loved all of our guests. They've all been fantastic. But I would probably say the Party Games one is up there for me. I really liked that one.
I agree with you. The Party Games is up there for me. I've got a weird pick, and it's not one I thought about because like, it's not an episode that I was excited to do in a way. It was an episode that I more so had to prepare myself for the most. But I think it's my favorite because of the feeling of finishing recording it, of like getting through it and the character arcs. I think the sequel episode for Star Wars, and like it was a hard episode to film, and because we all knew like we represented the three sides of the triad of I don't like the sequels, I'm mildly inconvenienced by the sequels, and I think the sequels are okay, but they're also bad because they're Star Wars. So I think that was probably my favorite episode because it was the culmination of a plot line. It was a finale in it of itself, and I loved recording it. I liked the aspects of what we saw and heard in it. It's like that felt like we ran a marathon because I remember we finished it. We opened up the door to the studio room and we just like spilled out into the next room and just had to sit there for like 20 minutes saying nothing.
I was just so mentally exhausted.
It was very, very
fun. That's probably why I
fun.
didn't pick that one, just because after that episode I was just so exhausted.
It was a good kind of exhausted though. It was like a runner's high.
Yeah.
I also really liked the board games and the party games episodes, both of them for their themes. I loved talking video games with Jarrett. That was a lot of fun.
What's your favorite bloodbath?
I don't. My favorite bloodbath. I've fought in a few. I've hosted a few.
You've fought in more than I have.
I really have,
because
and I forget that sometimes.
Because in terms of the times where it's us versus a guest, you've done 2 of them. I've only done 1 because I faced my brother, but then you've also faced Connor and Peyton.
I faced Connor. I faced.
And then
Peyton.
you and I faced each other, I believe, 4 times. Because on each of the Star Wars episodes and the WandaVision episode, we faced each other.
Yes.
So you've competed in 6. I've competed in 5.
I might have to
and
give it.
And I believe I'm 5-0.
I might have to give it to the WandaVision episode with us.
That was a good one.
I loved arguing with Peyton and Connor, but our matchup for the WandaVision.
I think that's my favorite one where it's you versus me.
Yes.
I do agree with that.
I seriously was like, I have to kick his ass in this one. Like, I have to kick his ass in this. I've read the comics. I know so much more. I've got to win. And then I didn't win on the Instagram polls.
No, we tied. We tied.
Oh, yeah, we tied on the Instagram polls.
We each won 3, and then the other question...
Because you have your loyalists that vote for you every time, even though you're wrong half the time. Like,
The Office is overrated. I told you I was going to get a lot of votes for that one.
I knew you were. That was a right answer for once.
I was going to get a lot of votes.
So, yeah.
And then my favorite moment... This is not part of the question. My favorite moment of Season 1 was my Quidditch rant.
That was the worst moment.
That was the best moment.
No,
because it's when I remember...
You made a lot of enemies.
Because there were 4 of us in the room, and I remember I said, Quidditch is so dumb, and all 3 of you, Abby, and Grace, all were just like, what is wrong with you? You're awful. But then by the end, Grace and Abby were then on my side.
They were not on your side.
Yes, Abby said, I agree with you.
She was like, I agree with you that it's a bad sport.
That's my favorite, because I feel like I actually had a really great argument for that.
Quidditch is fun. Quidditch serves as a fun detour in those movies.
Human Quidditch.
Quidditch is perfect.
I'm not saying Quidditch isn't fun to watch. I'm saying as a sport, it literally makes no sense.
Muggle Quidditch is perfect, though.
That's not in the movie. That's not what I was talking about.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Do you have a favorite moment?
Favorite moment? The
news of the week?
Look, I get a lot of flack for that segment. Look, I have
my award season.
Listen to me. So listen to me. Viewer. It's just me and you right now. It's just me and you. We're still taking, but it's just me and you. I do the news every week because I don't think enough people hear about nerd news enough. Because all the news is bad nowadays. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Everything sucks. So...
In the words of John Mulaney, I don't know if you've been following the news, but I've been keeping my ears open. It seems like everyone, everywhere, is super mad about everything.
Exactly.
All the time.
So what I try to do with the news every week is I try to give you guys some quirky little headlines, maybe some nostalgic headlines. I want to give you guys a little bit of like, hey, this interesting thing that these 2 nerds that I devote an hour and a half of my week to are excited about this thing. So I'm going to be excited too, and I'm going to have a good day. so I'm gonna keep doing the news, whether you like it or not.
I like the news segment. It's just in the beginning of the podcast, it was very long. We've done a good job shortening it.
Yeah, I know. I sucked in the beginning. I'll admit that. I made it horrible in the very beginning. But now I'm limiting myself to like 5 headlines a week.
Do you have a favorite moment though of the show?
Favorite moment on the show?
Just like one thing. If not, it's fine.
I have a few.
You've done a day's worth of materials.
I love the creation of our Mario Kart circuit.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. The dissection there. I liked the character arc realization that I had in the finale episode of the Star Wars trilogy. I think that a lot of the DC episode was a lot of fun. That was
my favorite bloodbath of the 2 bloodbaths I've hosted. I've loved them both, but you and Connor going at it, that was so much fun.
Yeah, the Westview episode was a lot of fun too. Like I don't have just one.
Yeah, no.
Everything there's something good I can tell you about every episode.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's I can't choose one, but I have like things that stand out.
All right, so the next question is number 10. We have 5 more to go. We're almost at the end.
Promised. We're almost done.
Yeah.
Question 5. We already answered this one. It's blooper and outtake.
10.
Oh, sorry. We have 5 more to go. This is question 10. This is the other existential question.
Oh, very fun.
So, our question is, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Literally, all I can think of when I hear this question now is Dear Evan Hansen, because there's that song where he like repeats it, like, when you're falling in a forest and there's no one around. Like, he repeats it like 8 times in a row.
That's
terrible.
terrible.
All I think of now, but whenever I hear this question. If a tree falls in a forest, no one's around, does it make a sound?
Yes!
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't it?
It's called physics.
It really depends on if you're talking about, does it make a physical sound, or are you talking about sound as in perception of sound? Because obviously then, if you're talking about perception of sound, no one's going to be around to hear it. I understand that. But it does make a sound, just no one is around to actually hear it.
Yes.
Like, why wouldn't it?
Physically, something is striking another surface, causing a reverb, causing a decibel to be produced. It's perceptionary. Yeah. It's there. Just because you're not there. It's like the same thing. The bloopers and outtakes of this show. We were there, we recorded them, they existed, and then we deleted them. That doesn't mean that they never happened. That means that you didn't hear them, but they were there. So if I go into the woods and I find a tree that was knocked over, I'm like, oh, that must have made a pretty big noise, huh? You know it made a noise. You know it did. Stop asking this question, Abby. Like,
yeah, that's from Abby. Thanks, Abby.
You know it made a noise. You know you did.
Why wouldn't it make a noise? It's a tree that fell. Alright, question 13 is next, because I'll go with that one.
Okay. I'll get the next question.
Question 13.
Question 13. What is your favorite movie studio and favorite streaming service? Huh.
I'll answer the streaming service one first.
Okay.
Because movie studios, there's so many of them. Streaming service, this might be, again, recency bias, but HBO Max is killer, man. Oh my god. I love HBO Max.
HBO Max
There is so much good content, because HBO, I think, has some of the best original shows, not only just happening right now, but in its past. Because you have stuff like, I know my brother hates the show, but you have The Sopranos, which is a very legendary show. You have The Wire on there. You have, obviously, Game of Thrones. And then all of their new stuff that's out, like Succession is a great show. I've heard great things about Barry, the Bill Hader show. They also have a bunch of original documentaries and miniseries like Chernobyl. And then you have all the other stuff that's not HBO that's on there, because you have all the Studio Ghibli films on there. You have Looney Tunes, all the DC movies. There's just so many good, and you get the new releases every month, because like we got Judas and the Black Messiah, we're getting Space Jam 2, we're getting Dune, we're getting The Matrix 4, we got Mortal Kombat. I know you didn't like this movie, but Kong vs. Godzilla was on there.
Kong vs. Godzilla was like, a trash fire.
It's pretty fun. Wonder Woman 84.
That was also a trash fire.
Film. But like, it's still fun to be able to see new releases from the comfort of your own home, and not have to. And for those people that don't feel comfortable going to movie theaters yet, HBO Max has the best content in terms of just like layout though, and accessibility and easiness to use. In my opinion, might be a cop out. Nothing beats Netflix in terms of just the navigation of the streaming service and being able to find something.
Yeah,
it's HBO Max is still in its early stages, and so is Disney Plus. So it's not like perfectly designed,
But in terms of its design, in terms of accessibility, I'd say Netflix. But for content, HBO Max.
That's fair. I agree with that. I think that I even almost want to say Disney Plus is a better accessibility than Netflix, just a little bit.
Okay, because Disney Plus has gotten a lot better.
Disney Plus has gotten a lot better. There's something about Netflix. I have Netflix for like only a few things and like nothing dedicated. You know what I mean? Like Netflix has started to flood its library with so many of its own really shitty movies and really shitty production things, and like these aren't good. They've never been good. There's a few things out there that I've been told are very good, but I don't have desire to go watch them. Or I'm busy watching other things in places I know I can get them.
Watch The Queen's Gambit.
That's one I've heard is very good. Not gone to see it yet, but I've heard it's very good. There's just so much about Netflix. It's just like, oh, it's Netflix. Like, it's meh. Like, I don't care. I don't really care about Netflix. I agree with you on HBO Match, though. Excuse me.
Movie studio.
Movie studio is a bit hard.
Yeah, there's a lot.
God, I don't really know. We might have to come back to it. Like, they're like,
I do enjoy. What's the name of that studio? Crap. I forget.
What movie studio?
A24.
That is a good one.
A24.
A24 pumps out some good stuff.
A24 makes some of the best, it's like the little studio that could.
Yeah.
And now it's a lot bigger, but like when it first started, that was the studio that made Moonlight that won Best Picture. It also made Uncut Gems and The Farewell a year or two ago, which is also two fantastic films. A24 is probably the studio that, in my opinion, is growing really a lot, and also just the movies that they produce, especially since I'm a huge Oscar nut. Like, of course, also they have Ex Machina, which is a fantastic film. They made Room, the movie with Brie Larson. The Lighthouse, which is a fantastic film. I love The Lighthouse. That's a movie with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. Such a great film. Obviously, like, you know, a lot of other great stuff. Like they make some great movies. They really do.
Yeah.
I would probably say those though, but like there's a lot of great movie studios.
There is good.
I'm trying to read other stuff that A24 has made. Lady Bird, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Hereditary, fantastic film. Oh my god, I loved Hereditary.
A2, yeah, they're
Midsummer, The Lighthouse. I said that. Waves.
Maybe they take Waves? It. I've not.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe they do take it though.
Waves is one of those movies that is so freaking like it just feels so real. It's like you're watching a documentary, but it's a movie, and it's so cool. And like the sound design in that movie is impeccable.
I like it.
But I would probably say A24. I'm happy that I came up with that.
I might have to second you with A24.
Oh, and Minari this year.
And
Minari this year.
I might have to second with the A24. They do pump out like they never pump out anything bad, you know.
Yeah, no.
You gotta say like NBC Universal having DreamWorks and like that. Like recent DreamWorks has sucked, but old DreamWorks is good. Disney Animation Studios is always good. Pixar Studios is always good.
Well, yeah,
but like
Marvel Studios for me.
If we're talking about films and we're trying to get away from that, it might have to go to A24.
That's fine.
They make some good stuff, and you're right. Like that listing.
The other big movie studio that like is really big with the Oscars would be Fox Searchlight. That usually makes a lot of the big Best Picture movies.
Also back in the old days, Lionsgate and Lionsgate did a lot of the James Bond films. And Amblin.
Yeah.
Anything Steven Spielberg.
Next question is number 8.
Number 8 on our list is... I gotta pull up the list. I was looking at the list. What is your least favorite episode from season 1 of the show?
Oh, I want to pick.
There's no bad episode.
Honestly, I would probably say...
I mean, we're biased, but like...
Yeah. I didn't really have a least favorite, though. My least favorite, in terms of just like how exhausted it made me, was the sequel trilogy episode. Just because after that episode, but like I didn't hate doing it. I was just so tired. I don't really have a least favorite episode.
I don't either. I mean, if I have to say there's a least favorite, I probably would say episode 1 because we were the most shaky.
Yeah.
We had a good idea with doing film scoring, but like. Film scoring is something you could spend hours on. So, excuse me. When it we're keeping that in. When I I remember being so nervous for that episode, like we talked about earlier, and we were so not confident until the very end of it, and they're like, "Oh, we did it! Why were we nervous?" But we were so nervous during the entire thing, and I made mistakes, and I just was not there. So, I'm gonna say episode 1 was my least favorite, just because of skill based alone.
2 more questions. Question 20 is next.
Question 20. Okay, this one was an interesting one we got in the comments on the post. It was coffee or energy drinks. If energy drinks, Monster or Red Bull, there is a right answer. That is verbatim the question.
It's not like a cop-out. I don't drink either.
Yeah, I don't really drink either. Like, I don't drink coffee at all.
No,
I hate coffee. It's too bitter for me.
Can't stand it.
If
much more of a tea person. I know that sounds weird, but like I drink tea.
No, that makes sense. I like tea. I will say this, like, I don't drink energy drinks all that much either, and I've never drank Monster or Red Bull. I've drank the Mountain Dew Kickstarts.
I drank Red Bull once in my life, and I will never drink it again because a little story time, a quick story though, because we're already running a little bit over.
Quick story time for our shortened episode that's not shortened.
Quick story time. I was the drum major of my high school marching band, and at our last competition, one of the sections, I believe it was the Barry sax section and the tenor saxes, they would always drink Red Bull before a competition. It was just a tradition. And they would like shake them up and like spray them all over each other, almost like they won the World Series or something, and then they would chug them. And my friend Vance and I were the drum major senior year, and they invited us into the circle for our last band competition to do the Red Bull chug with them. And we were like, yeah, let's do it!
This sounds like a terrible
It's a horrible idea. Because we did the Red Bull chug, and Vance is a very short person. He's shorter than me. He's like 5'5", so he's...
Well, yeah, you're a stick. Everyone's shorter than you.
Whereas me, I am over 6 feet tall. So, like, much similar to alcohol, energy drinks have a similar thing where it doesn't hit me as much, but it takes more of it to kick into my system.
But when it does, it's over. It hits all at once.
However, drinking an entire thing of Red Bull very fast, apparently, my body just doesn't care because it hit me quick and it hit Vance even more. So during the entirety of our last marching band show at U.S. Bands Nationals, we were so jittery, our hands were shaking the entire show, especially him. And our band director was like, what the hell did you two do? It's like, we chugged Red Bull. And he's like, you better be able to keep tempo throughout this show or else like you're going to get it. Thankfully, we were fine. We actually ended up winning the competition and winning nationals. And as soon as we got back on the bus, Vance and I immediately collapsed. We just passed out. But I will never drink Red Bull again because that was just an insane day.
So we're sorry we couldn't answer your question.
Yeah, but I don't drink coffee. I don't drink Red Bull.
I don't drink either, and if I have, it's only been Mountain Dew Kickstarts because I'm a plebeian.
Yeah.
So.
All right, last question, number 17.
Last question is number 17. This is best fast food restaurant. It has in parentheses tier list. We don't have time to make you a tier list, but we've done it before on our own.
We'll go through some of the so like okay, so if you were to do you want to just like list off a couple of fast food places and like say like what tier they would be in maybe?
Yeah, I mean like
that might work.
That works.
It's a what is your favorite though? If you were to pick one.
If
we'll
like
start with that.
We're saying like I gotta go to.
That's the question.
So like we're saying like I gotta go to a drive-thru and get a meal.
Yeah.
Wendy's.
I completely agree.
Okay, thank you.
It's either Wendy's or it's Chick-fil-A.
If it has a drive-thru, it's Wendy's or Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
If it's a sit down, like it's kind of fast, like I like a Five Guys burger. I'm excited because I'm getting together with a couple old friends from home this weekend when I go home, and we're getting Five Guys together. So that's gonna be great.
Like, I don't count Panera as fast food. It's like I wouldn't say that.
Panera is not fast food. You gotta sit and wait.
Exactly. So I wouldn't really count that. I am a big fan of Chick-fil-A though. I do like Wendy's.
McDonald's is okay every once in a while.
McDonald's is always reliable.
Reliable.
I don't like Taco Bell or Burger King.
I'm mildly okay with Burger King. Taco Bell and KFC make my insides hurt. Like I feel like you wouldn't know
KFC really.
KFC makes my insides hurt.
KFC. If we were doing a tier list, I'd put KFC in like C or D tier. The premier chicken fast food place is by far Popeyes.
Yes,
Popeyes is so much better.
Popeyes is better than KFC. I'm gonna say that. I know I'm gonna catch flack for that, but I'm sorry. I don't want to feel like after I ate, someone punched me in the kidney. I said it. I'm not backing down from that statement.
All right. I'm not a huge fan of like sandwich fast food places like Subway or especially Jersey Mike's.
You hate them for dumb reasons.
Well, no, I don't like Subway because I don't like Subway. I don't like Jersey Mike's because
you've eaten it so much.
In my marching band days in high school, a lot of the times whenever the band parents would not be able to like make food for us, we would just cater Jersey Mike's. And I don't like Jersey Mike's at all. So between that and also just the overabundance of exposure to Jersey Mike's, I cannot stand that place. It's so bad. Also, Checkers can go die in a hole.
I've never eaten a
Checkers is like the most trashy, like, oh god, it's terrible. And Sbarro's is my favorite New York pizza joint, in the words of Michael Scott from The Office. I'm looking at names of like famous like Long John Silver's never been. Carl's Jr. and Hardee's never been.
I will say a Carl's Jr. Hardee's burger is pretty good.
Dairy Queen is great for ice cream, but actual food is not good. Like
the food's mediocre.
I've only gotten actual food like burger and fries at Dairy Queen once, and I was very underwhelmed.
The food is very mediocre.
The ice cream's great. I'll give it that. In terms of like mall fast food, like Auntie Anne's or like Cinnabon, like yeah, but I really only crave them whenever I'm in like a rest stop, a train station, or a mall. Like, when have you ever been driving down the highway and you see an Auntie Anne's? You don't, because they're only in, like bigger complexes.
I've fallen in love with Philly Pretzel Factory.
Oh, Philly Pretzel's good.
To an unhealthy level.
Philly Pretzel's good. I don't like Chipotle. I know I'm going to get flack for that. I don't like Chipotle. There's a much better Mexican...
I'm gonna come clean with something. In 21 years of life, I have avoided eating at a Chipotle.
Yeah,
I've never been.
Well, I don't like Chipotle because my mom once got sick from there. So our family kind of just stopped going.
Yeah.
And also, there's a much better Mexican place near us. It's a New Jersey chain called Bubba Burritos. And it is...
That's a name.
It is easily so much better than Chipotle. And a lot of my friends who are like, oh, Chipotle is so much better. But then I bring them to Bubba, they're like, oh, yeah, this is better. Like, people are actually in agreement with me. Chipotle is fine, but Bubba is where it's at. Panda Express, again, another like mall place. That's not really good. Okay, here's a good question. In terms of like fast food delivery pizza, what's the best one?
Delivery pizza?
Like, you know, like Domino's, Papa John's, Pizza Hut.
Domino's
That's
is
a good question.
Domino's is all reliable, but like I think Papa John's tastes a little better.
Really? See, Papa John's is
Like,
my least favorite of those.
Papa John's tastes just a little bit better. I really like Domino's though. Like Domino's is all reliable. It's not the best, but it's good. It's not really quick around here.
See, now in my opinion,
it's good.
In my opinion, there's nobody out pizzas the Hut.
They don't exist anymore.
Yes, they do. There's a Pizza Hut right by me.
Yeah, by like you. There's one. There's one Pizza Hut.
No one out pizzas the Hut. Pizza Hut's where it's at, man. I've always loved pizza. Domino's, there's one near us. There's no Pizza Huts near campus where we go, so it's kind of unfortunate.
I know of like 2 Pizza Huts that are still standing, and one of them is the one you just mentioned. Like, that's it.
Last fast food place before we wrap this question up. Sonic. What are your opinions?
I've never eaten the food, but I've had their milkshakes, and their milkshakes are pretty good.
See, here's the thing about Sonic, and correct me if I'm wrong. Everyone in this country either lives right by one, or the closest one is 2 hours away.
Yes.
Like, it's one of those restaurants where
it's never around.
Like, because I live 5 minutes from a Sonic. They built one near me about 10 years ago.
The closest one to me is like an hour and a half away.
Exactly. Like, it's one of those fast food restaurants where, like, you either live right next to one, or there's not one for hours.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Granted, I'm not a huge fan of it either. I've only really had their slushies or, like, their flavored drinks. Like, they have a cherry limeade that my dad and I really like. But in terms of, like, actual food, no. Wendy's reigns supremes for me.
Wendy's, you want a burger? Go to Wendy's.
If you want a Frosty, go to Wendy's.
If you want chicken, they're pretty good. Like, you can get their nuggies.
Yeah,
like...
the fries are actually there's like the sea salt fries. Those are pretty good.
The sea salt fries are good.
The Baconator, the pretzel burger.
Yeah. There's like nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong
with Wendy's, and also the 4 for $4. Come on.
Yeah,
$4.
Like,
the 4 for $4. It's insanely, it's just such a good value. Yeah. 4 chicken nuggets, a small fry, a burger of your choosing, and a drink for $4.44. Yeah, I'm doing that every day of the week. Are you kidding me?
That's not good.
Maybe not every day of the week.
That's not a good
If I'm
decision.
ever craving fast food, there's again a Wendy's right by me. I always go to that Wendy's because why would I go to screw Burger King, man? I hate Burger King.
Burger King's mediocre.
Personal story: I actually DoorDash over this past summer. I'm a DoorDash driver, And
if you live in New Jersey, there's a small chance that Matt could deliver your food.
If you live in central south-ish Jersey, like Ocean County, and you order DoorDash, I may deliver to you if the timing aligns. But Burger King was always one of the restaurants wherever I would have a Burger King order, they would take forever. Like, literally, I'd be sitting in the drive-thru for a good 15, 20 minutes waiting for my food. It was insane. Whereas certain restaurants, like Wendy's, are really quick. McDonald's, extremely quick. Oh, my goodness. They have that thing down to a science. But, yeah, Burger King, screw Burger King. Get that out of here.
All right.
There's our fast food list. We do want to address one more question now that we did get from a viewer very recently.
Yes.
And we feel like it's a good way to close it out, and that is, what's new
in Westview? Episode 3.
Right. Episode 4.
4, whatever.
What's new in Season 2?
What's new in Season 2? We're taking a break, like we said multiple times, in case you didn't remember.
We're on a break.
We're on a break.
Awesome, Rachel.
So you're not getting you're getting an episode. You're going to be listening to this on Sunday the 16th. Ugh.
Correct, yes.
And then there's going to be nothing the following week or the week after. But on, I believe the calendar date is...
It's either going to be May 30th or it's going to be June 6th.
No, it'll be May 30th.
Okay, so then they'll only have a week off of not getting anything.
You're right. You're getting a week off. We're getting 2 weeks off of recording.
Yes, which is much needed.
But May 30th, we return. We return for a very interesting season. We have almost everything planned out.
We do, yes.
Because, let you know a little production secret, a lot of the times we don't decide what our topic is until, like, Tuesday.
For the record.
And then we record on
The
Fridays.
Pokemon episode, we decided we were doing that the morning of.
Yeah, we were supposed to do another episode, but then we realized that was kind of not well prepared, and, like, we would wait until we had more content to share on that topic.
Yeah.
So you're going to hear that episode in the fall. We're not going to tell you what it is.
The Pokemon episode, though, we decided the morning of that we were going to do that, and we rushed to plan that thing.
Yeah, we did that in one take after about an hour's worth of planning and rapid fire history lessons to ourselves.
So, like, there are some episodes where we know, like, you know, a couple weeks in advance, like, oh yeah, we're gonna do the Star Wars episodes here. Oh yeah, we got to do a WandaVision episode when it ends.
Pokemon, nope, we broke glass in case of emergency, and that was what we pulled out.
We knew we were doing the Disney Renaissance episode as the finale for about 3 weeks before that, so we had time to plan that.
We just had one whole
Pokemon episode, no. But for season 2, we're going to be doing a 7-episode season 2, where we're going to be doing an every other week schedule. It will take us till about, we're starting May 30th, and I believe the schedule takes us towards around the end of August. So it's going to be a 13-week span where you're getting 7 episodes. It'll just be on an every other week basis as opposed to every week.
Yes. So summer's busy.
So again, it's going to be a 13-week season because this season was also 13 weeks, 13 episodes each week. However, this one's an every other week. And in the off weeks, we told you guys this in the end of the season finale, we're doing solo projects where we're going to each get 3 because there'll be 6 off weeks, and we're going to be either doing like almost like a video essay sort of thing where we analyze and dissect a certain topic and, you know, or concept or something, and it's just either Sean or myself talking.
No guests.
It'll be about 30 minutes, maybe at a pop.
45
tops.
Let's
probably.
be real.
Okay. And
we're gonna say 30. It'll be 45.
And then they're gonna be tailored mostly to topics that either I am very well versed in that Sean isn't, or
vice
versa. So it's basically episodes that one of us wants to do, but we know the other person probably couldn't contribute much. And these are not going to be normal episodes either.
No,
they're going to be much more so analyzations. There's gonna be no ranking lists. There's
or
gonna be no
a little bit of
questions.
education on our behalf.
Exactly. Like they're gonna be a different vibe, and we hope that we're gonna entitle this series. They're not gonna be part of the mainline Everything Is Fine series. They're gonna actually be titled, playing off of the Star Wars reference to.
We can't escape it.
Playing off of the Star Wars reference, how we named the show Everything Is Fine, to play off of that. These are gonna be called How Are You?
George Lucas actually holds us at gunpoint every week.
So be on the lookout after the season 1 premiere. We're not sure who's starting. I guess it really just comes up to whoever.
We're gonna flip a coin.
Whoever has an idea first and wants to go.
We're gonna flip a coin.
Yeah.
And that's how we're gonna decide it.
Yeah, it's whoever comes up with an idea first. But be on the lookout for those. Those are going to be coming out every other week in between the episodes.
You'll get 6 of those.
You'll get 6 of those. 3 from me, 3 from Sean. It's going to be fun. But in terms of what's new for season 2, we are going to have some new guests. We have some people lined up for the Marvel episodes that have not been on the show yet.
We have new concepts that we want to bring on the episodes.
We also are going to bring back some guests. I believe Jarrett will be coming back.
And we'll definitely get Connor at some point.
We'll definitely get Connor back at some point. And we are also going to be implementing some new segments. We're not going to say what. We want to surprise you. But there will be some new segments in the show to look out for. Because, we have to fill some time. We're not going to have bloodbath every week. We never do. But sometimes maybe the discussion doesn't need to be that long. We have time for other stuff. We'll try some other stuff. Maybe we'll add more Q&A stuff during every single week.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But when it comes to the main composition of the show, we know exactly what we're doing. We're going to space those ideas out. We're going to make sure that we're also alive this summer. Our jobs are very demanding of us. So we are going to... And plus also we have social lives and other projects we're working on besides the show. So we're also trying to, not blow our brains out.
Yep.
So... We have so much already planned. We only have one episode on the calendar where we even have a question mark. We have every idea in a hat. We just got to order.
Including a crossover event at the end that you have got to see.
We have a fantastic finale already planned for the end of August. So if you can get to August, you'll be delighted to see what we've concocted in our disease-ridden brains.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
So it'll be a very, very nice celebration of the school year coming back. Of the successful second season, hopefully. And it'll be a nice way to jumpstart, hopefully, a third season in the fall.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's freaking fracking go. Let's do it.
Please. You having a seizure?
Yeah, I'm having a seizure. It's fine, though.
All right.
But, again, thank you again for listening to Season 1. Stay tuned for Season 2 coming out in about 2 weeks. We'll be starting to record that. We don't know when we're recording it, but the episode will be released in about 2 weeks from when you're hearing this. But yeah, we need some time to just. This was a good break because we don't have to worry about studying a topic. It's just answering some questions and having fun with you.
You guys did all the work for us.
Yeah,
we tricked you.
Aha.
So, yeah, but thank you guys for listening in. This was fantastic.
And if you like this, let us know if you want us to do it more often. We could do some Q&As, a short Q&A segment at the beginning of every episode if you have more questions for us. Suggestions for stuff we could do. We'll take some suggestions from the show.
Yeah, we love listening to you guys. We really do.
And we thank you again for all your support. We promise we'll be more active on the Instagram page. And I'll even say this, don't always vote for my bloodbath answers.
Stop lobbying. Other
for
people deserve to win.
I am 4-0-1 in bloodbath.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. But once again, thank you again for listening. Stay tuned for Season 2. Marvel Phase 1 is going to be the premiere.
Yeah, on the 30th.
It's going to be a good time.
Take us out, Matt.
Yes. And again, just remember, no matter how crazy life gets, everything is fine.